Some of you probably don't even know who I am, do you? I'm back. So I've been away for a while. I'll get into that. I gotta have something to talk about while I shave, right? We're actually gonna be using some new stuff today. This is the 3 Scots by Seaforth, aka Spearhead Shaving. This is in their Highland base, which I think is one of the best bases in shaving. Get the notes on here. Amber, mandarin, neroli, jasmine, cardamom, and ginger. You can see it all on there. I do like that they put that on there because I don't have to go on my iPad or some shit right now and do it or memorize them. So it's cool. Before I pop this is the kindred spirit of Blackwatch. Long story short, when they were putting out Blackwatch, they had this formula and then they had this formulation, I should say formulation, for the scent, and they chose this one, and they chose well for the name Blackwatch. If you haven't tried Blackwatch, you need to. Bergamot, jasmine, plum, leather, oak moss, incense, sandalwood. The only note they share is jasmine. I mean, this just has that sexy, leathery, the plum is doing some work in there too, the sandalwood and incense. This just has a nice, sexy depth to it. This, I can get the same vibe. This is more of a spicy, this is like the less sexy, more serious older brother, if you will, to Blackwatch. So they did this in a limited run and I missed it last year right around my birthday, and they brought it back for another limited run and I grabbed it this time. And yes, don't worry, I do have the matching splash that I have not used yet. So this one really, off the puck, I think it's a combo of the cardamom, ginger, and then possibly the amber and maybe the jasmine. The citruses are getting overpowered with these scents. I mean, that's gonna happen with amber, cardamom, and ginger alone. Like, that's gonna run those right over. It kind of has like a more earthy, piney quality. I'm curious to see how that maybe develops when it's lathered. As you can see, I have a beard right now, and that's not gonna change significantly. I've been letting this grow out a little bit for the shave, and then my wife got sick. She might have diverticulitis, we don't know. But she's being kind and letting our kids watch TV in our bed right now so I can finally record. I'm not getting rid of the whole beard. I'm gonna trim some of this down, kind of fade it in a bit, show you what I've been doing with it. I'm gonna go take a shower and then I'll get onto it. So I'm gonna go ahead and get going on clean this up first, and then I'll see you when I'm ready to shave. There we go. All right. I got a bit of a different look going right now. I got more of that modern dad hairstyle. Part of my issues stem from going through some hair change. Like, the texture of my hair like completely changed over the last 6 months. So I had to kind of give up the slick styles and go for something more like this, which doesn't look the best right now, but there's a good chance I'm gonna put a hoodie on after this, and there's a good chance I'm gonna wear a hat anyways. It's not even breaking 40 today. It's wet, it's October. Let's go. All right, go to Elysian pre-shave oil. Shout out to Shannon. Sorry, I just keep disappearing. Need a little bit more. Because when I have a full beard, I like to get it in the whole thing, because the whole point of a pre-shave oil is to soften the beard. In full disclosure, you gotta wait a couple more minutes here for me to lather up, because I haven't lathered this yet, because we had a little surprise. So when I scooped this, if you look there, look at that. You can see there. It's very soft, by the way. It's definitely cropier, softer, I think, even than Omnibus by Barrister and Man. But surprised about that color change, because the color of Blackwatch remains the same. You can see I'm hitting bottom right there, but remains the same throughout. And if I'm honest, I was a little concerned about potential of frag burn just based on how dark that was, and then got a nice little light surprise there. So I'm gonna go get that lathered up, and when I come back, I promise we're gonna shave. All right, I promise. So there you go, right? Soft base, but very thick. Takes a lot of water. get it dialed in. But I'm feeling good about where that is right now, so. All right. So when I got all my brushes sorted out, I ended up converting to 26 millimeters all the way around, which is great when you're shaving your whole face, but when you're a small person shaving parts of your face, like I am, you miss having a 24. And my Simpsons is not a brush I like to use every day. It's more like a shaving cream. It might work with this one, but I'm not willing to risk it. With how thick this base is to get it where it needs to go, I wanted something more like this. So I'm gonna adjust the lines here in a second. I do get just a little bit of citrus now that it's lathered up. It's taking a little bit of the edge off. Still got that spiciness. I almost came back mid-lather, but I'd promised that I would wait until we got there. So let me fix these lines a little bit. And today's razor, in the interest of speed and getting around the edges of my beard on camera for the first time in forever, I'm going to be using the Thorn from Leaf Shaving, or Leaf Razors, or whatever they're called. I've got a brand new half Astra Blue in here. Let's get it. So where to begin? So just having some major self-esteem issues that occurred. My last video was me knotting a brush. That did not go well. And I ended up having to rip that knot out and replace it, and then I sold the brush. And I just didn't feel like coming back at the time. And that, I was like, well, maybe I just need a break. So I took a little break. And then my youngest ended up getting pulled out of daycare because it just wasn't working. I was having to go and get him like well before his time to be picked up every day. And it wasn't getting anything done, and it was just such a hassle that finally in April, my last video I think was in late February, maybe March, even March. Yeah, because it was birthday money I was spending. I decided to just pull him out. I was like, well, let's just save the money because you're paying a lot of money. Any of you parents still paying for daycare now? Pulled him out. So then I had to adjust to him being home all the time, which was fine, but didn't really leave a lot of time for shaving. So I decided just to grow out a beard. And then I was like feeling guilty about not participating in the channel. Mostly because JD's an asshole. Kept shaming everybody about how he was going to change the channel to JD and the Groomsmen. If we ever start a band, that's what we're going to call it. And I just, didn't feel like it. I didn't feel like shaving. I didn't feel like hoarding. I would save up. I'd shave it all off and then I'd save up, and then something would happen with my kids, and then both kids were home in June, which is graduation season, so we were working a lot. I'm gonna add a little bit more water because that's fine to do, people, through the shave. This stuff will dry out sometimes. You gotta keep it hydrated. That's why we call it wet shaving. So I ended up with both kids, and then we were on break, summer break, and we were with both kids all the time, and I still had a beard and I didn't care. And then my youngest was finally gonna go to preschool for like half days, 3 days a week, and I ended up with such bad anxiety that I'm now on anxiety meds like 3 weeks later. Men's mental health. and feeling a lot better now. I mean, I was literally making myself sick every morning. My wife had to take both kids with her to work multiple times, and then that just compounds it because I'm, the dad that gets it all done and everything, and that's my job on top of doing my other job. And she didn't guilt me or anything, but I went to urgent care to make sure there wasn't something like medically wrong with me, and they were like, low-key might have appendicitis, and I'm like, I think that's just all the diarrhea that I've been having. But if I had appendicitis, this was like a month ago, so I'd be dead. But yep, so we're still here. We're on anxiety meds now, which is fine. It's taking the edge off. I'm feeling a lot better. And I have a stressful life. I have ADHD and anxiety, and I have a kid with ADHD and anxiety, and I have a toddler, and I'm the one getting them to and from everything, which is fine. My wife is more essential to the job that we do, and I know that and agree with that because it's true. So she needs to be the one that's readily available, and I do my part. My goal is to not nick my Adam's apple on camera. Just gonna check how we're feeling down here with this. Anyways, about the soap itself, base is fantastic as advertised. If you haven't tried it, I do believe that everything is now in the Highland base. I have their old base in the Heather. I tried selling it 20.1 soap base, yeah. So tried selling it. Alright, if my dad didn't already have one, I would just give it to him. But I don't really like selling stuff online anymore because no one wants to buy anything. So if you want to, let me know. Hell, at this point, I'll just charge shipping for it. I don't care. I just want space. You can see what I'm doing here. I'm kind of copying Faya, so I'm bringing this over here and it's like fading in right here. The reason I'm doing that is I grow a mean goatee, but then my wife doesn't like my face. She doesn't like me with just a goatee. And contrary to when I was young, the chops don't grow in as thick as they used to, and then on top of everything else, this just doesn't grow in well. I'm gonna try to no shave November this year. Well, maybe I'm gonna have to shave my neck because I can't look like a European basketball player. But it just never has. So instead of just going for like that goatee or the chin strap, I'm trying this anchor beard, I think is what Fias called it. And he knows I stole it from him, but he's a beautiful man, so I'll do what I want. Love you, Fias. Happy belated birthday to Fias. So yeah, and on top of everything else, what really put me over and kicked me out of this space was that my youngest actually flooded my bathroom. It's in the basement on a slab with engineered wood floor because my brother-in-law did it and he's very green-minded and everything. So yeah, he turned my downstairs toilet into a fountain. I had to run in here with standing water. I had to buy a dehumidifier, a box fan. It went under the wall. Fortunately, it didn't go under on the wall behind me because that is a carpeted floor. Went under the wall and into my laundry room. At least I hope it didn't go under my carpet. I didn't notice anything wet under there, but who knows? The floor seems to be tilted this way, but thankfully, but it went, yeah. So I had to rip up some of the floor because they were warped to make sure there wasn't any mold or anything. Fortunately, the layer of plastic between the subfloor and the engineered wood did its job. And yeah, so I still got to fix that floor. I was supposed to do it this summer and that didn't happen. So maybe I'll take a stab at that. next time I get a break. All right, I'm gonna rinse this off, come back and do the splash, and we'll talk. Oh, did I get myself a little bit? Maybe a little bit, but not as bad as I thought. I'll be right back though. All right, let's start that pre-shave post-shave process. Barber dough. It's my go-to. You can see I'm not using as much as my old bottle because I haven't been shaving as much. Speaking of shaving as much, I feel like I shave this a little lower than usual. I got a weird beard. It is very colicky down here, so I'm actually kind of planning to grow it out as much as I can right now, and then have my barber, I have a new barber by the way, have her kind of set those lines before I go into no shave November and decide if I want to try to grow it out or just keep going right here. I don't really know what it's going to look like. I mean, I can get pretty beardy in this area, so I don't really know what it's going to look like here, but I feel like it. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Like normally I take some of the thickness out of this right now, but it's fall, it's cold. I'm gonna let it rock. It'll look a little better. Normally I, use products and brush it so it's not just sticking up crazy like it is right now when it's wet. I got some beard butter black. This is cedarwood and amber. Is such a good scent. Just enough of each where it's woody, but it's not over the top ambrox. And speaking of not being over the top ambroxan, I'm really impressed. I still got a ton of soap on here. Wanted to make sure I had plenty to work with. Yeah, it really softened a bit in the scent when it lathered. It isn't as piney as I was feeling before. So it's got that nice clean blend to it. I definitely think you could layer it well with any number of fall and winter fragrances. A lot of them, like Spice Bomb, have cardamom in them. Ginger, when you're looking at something like YSL's La Nuit de l'Homme. What's the other big one that I'm blanking on right now? Dolce & Gabbana Le One. Yeah. I'm not a fan of that though. It doesn't work on my skin for some reason. Yep, got myself good down there. It's a bad habit I've been picking up lately. So, all right. I broke the seal on this to smell it when it came in. All right. Get a healthy amount on there. I'm not wearing a fragrance today because I didn't know how this was gonna rock, and I honestly don't really have a spicy fall fragrance. I kind of have an everyday driver in my I always call for the alcohol in my Dior Homme 2020 edition. It's my daily. Lots of vetiver, tons of cedarwood, little bergamot in there and everything. So I don't have one that I would match with this right now. If I think of anything, I'll let you guys know that I think it would go with. Black Watch is like a special occasion soap from right now. It's really good in the winter. We're getting that way with the fall, and my go-to pairing with that is Tom Ford's Ombre Leather Parfum. So that's very sexy together with how playful that is. I feel like it brings out a lot. It builds well off of Ombre Leather with the plum and its own leather, and then the incense and the sandalwood. It's just very sexy. So don't really have an occasion to wear that. That's a very special occasion fragrance that I was gifted by my good friend Jason a year or two ago for Christmas. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So razor worked well. We know it cuts. Soap base is fantastic. Beard might be a little wonky right now, but whatevs. So I'm back. I don't know how often I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it as often as I can, but I'm not gonna pressure myself into doing it because I got a lot of other stuff going on right now. But I appreciate y'all sticking with us, supporting Fayez and Scott and JD. Sack is still around. He's had a lot of stuff happen in his life he should get on here and talk about. But yeah, all right. So what do I always say? I can't remember. What do I say? Thanks for stopping by, and we'll catch you next time.